Let's learn opposites. Let the adventure begin.
Yay!
Big. The opposite of big is small. The opposite of big is small. Hot. The opposite of hot is cold. The opposite of hot is cold. Up. The opposite of up is down. The opposite of up is down. Up. The opposite of up is down. The opposite of up is down. Wet. The opposite of wet is
Dry. The opposite of wet is dry.
open. The opposite of open is
Closed. The opposite of open is closed.
tall. The opposite of tall is short. The opposite of tall is short. Bright. The opposite of bright is
Dull.
the opposite of bright is dull. Heavy. The opposite of heavy is light. The opposite of heavy is light. Back. The opposite of back is front. The opposite of back is front. Above. The opposite of above is below. The opposite of above is below. Loud. The opposite of loud is quiet. The opposite of loud is quiet.
Sick. Opposite of sick is
Well. The opposite of sick is well. Dirty. The opposite of dirty is clean. The opposite of dirty is clean. Kind. The opposite of kind is mean. The opposite of kind is mean. Calm. The opposite of calm is angry. The opposite of calm is angry. Love. The opposite of love is hate. The opposite of love is hate. Lie. The opposite of lie is truth. The opposite of lie is true. Happy. The opposite of happy is sad. The opposite of happy is sad. Encourage. The opposite of encourage is discourage. The opposite of encourage is discourage. Full. The opposite of full is empty. The opposite of full is empty. Slow. The opposite of slow is fast. The opposite of slow is fast. Hard. The opposite of hard is soft. The opposite of hard is soft. Sweet. The opposite of sweet is
sour. The opposite of sweet is sour.
color. The opposite of color is colorless. The opposite of color is colorless. Hilly. The opposite of hilly is flat. The opposite of hilly is flat. Stop. The opposite of stop is go. The opposite of stop is go. Sit. The opposite of sit is stand. The opposite of sit is stand. Strong. The opposite of strong is weak. The opposite of strong is weak. Walk. The opposite of walk is run. The opposite of walk is run. Throw. The opposite of throw is catch. The opposite of throw is catch. Boy. The opposite of boy is girl. The opposite of boy is girl. Old. The opposite of old is young. The opposite of old is young. Smile. The opposite of smile is frown. The opposite of smile is frown. Left. The opposite of left is right. The opposite of left is right. Pull. The opposite of pull is push. The opposite of pull is push. Thin. The opposite of thin is thick. The opposite of thin is thick.
Asleep. The opposite of asleep is awake. The opposite of asleep is awake.
Night. The opposite of night is day. The opposite of night is day. Thanks for watching. Check out our other awesome videos. Bye.